I'm going to talk a bit more about my second book and what I've written on Twitter. I'm going to talk about, let's see, a few other things. Now, the prophecy of 2013, the Antichrist, has got to do with my path and the uniting of the Ten Kingdoms. So, I've still got to keep in mind of what I write and not try causing the uniting of the Ten Kingdoms, even though the three dissolved and there was only seven left. Now, the Pisces to that prophecy is in the King James Bible of a woman of 1962 that will unite the world in one religion. Now, the spiritual world, and I've written a bit about the spiritual world and how there was another player for the highest seat above the stars apart from Lucifer, the devil, the tempter. Um, and yesterday I just found out while looking up spiritual gifts about the seven sins. Now, the seven sins have got pride as one of the sins. Now, I'm the god of pride, and I'm absolutely opposite to what is the written word of the seven sins, and pride being one of them. But moving on from that, um, the spiritual world and the games that go on, and the game of for the highest seat above the stars, which I've written and just told you about. There's another player. Now, in Muslim belief, the Prophet Muhammad, who was first visited by the Archangel Gabriel, was set upon his path to become a prophet. But in his prophecy, he says that he wasn't able to cause or make a miracle. But before he puts a knife to himself, he says that he is going to cause a miracle and that he's going to come back, as is the Pisces to resurrection. Now, Jesus Christ's resurrection was of mind, body, and soul, but the one of the Prophet Muhammad is of soul or spirit, soul or spirit or will. But the game that's been going on of trying to control the living through the world of the dead is amazing, and how long it's been going. Thus, the other player for the highest seat above the stars. And the games of blindsiding and long vision and longevity to such games. But that's something that you'd have to read about. Now, the Prophet Muhammad was visited by the Archangel Gabriel before he was set upon his path. Now, I know because of my path and my spiritual journey that the games to what Horus does after mummification, but are done to the living of the same thing, to the purity of the heart, to be worthy, to know and to be tested, as a path isn't a walk in the park or a walk down the road. Now, God doesn't judge us, nor does the devil. God guides us, the devil tempts us. That's the basics, but it's not the simplicity. And throughout all these games, and of my journey, and of my path of guidance by God, I always ask, and have of all my life, 4 questions. Who for, what for, how come, and for whose benefit. And it gives me the sense of direction to where it's headed, if I've got any questions. So, to understand such a path, as I've written on Twitter, for people to follow those journeys, but I haven't put all the answers in groups. But the answers are there, as I have done and paved the road for eternity, as is the title of my book, or part of the title of my book. But for you to have the sense and understanding of a path of enlightenment, and a continued path of enlightenment for you to travel, is there for you on Twitter to read. But it's up to you to try and put that together. But putting answers together is easy. Trying to find the clues and looking for a needle in a haystack of world proportions, historical proportions, of biblical proportions, of mythological proportions, and then of other people's views of such situations. So the thing is, I don't sit on a computer all day, every day, researching, trying to find that needle in the haystack. Those things happen, as I said, like yesterday, I was reading about spiritual gifts, because I was going to start writing about spirituality and spiritual gifts, even though I've written a bit about it on Twitter, of my spiritual journey. And I was going to do a comparison of what the written word is to my actual physical experience of the spiritual world, and continued experience of the spiritual world, for the knowledge and the better of knowledge for mankind of the spiritual world. Because death is part of life, which is the inevitable of every single person of mankind. So where do our spirits go? Now do you understand the part that the spiritual world plays? But people would have seen the spiritual world and said that they are ghosts, and all other sort of things that come with ghosts and hauntings and so forth. But to tell you, and for you to understand, is of your own 4 freedoms to your understanding, to your 5 senses, that comes to your understanding, to your 4 freedoms. Your 5 senses, which are of Buddhism, which are your eyesight, your smell, your hearing, your taste of tongue, and your feeling of skin. But then you've got your feelings and emotions that come from your heart. But then, that's that section. I just lost my train of thought. Understand the spiritual world and what it comes with. So, and then that comes to your beliefs. Now, your 4 freedoms of beliefs of your 5 senses are that freedom of will, freedom of choice, freedom of mind, and freedom of belief. They're the 4 things we're born with, plus unpredictability. But that unpredictability is what makes us individuals. Because if we're all predictable, then we'd all be the same. So each and every one of us is is an individual, as comes that unpredictability that makes us an individual. But there's only one person that I have known of from reading and of personal experience that can calculate predictability, and that's God, as He has left clues um, throughout history for me to find, like in the picture of Redeemer, Jesus Christ. Redeemer, yes, the picture of Redeemer, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is sitting down, there's a star above his head, a really bright star, and as I spoke about it before in the other video. Now that on the left hand side to where the frog or the person is pointing is my initials TC with Poseidon's sign. Then there's the picture of Saint Petruda and Saint Francis and Saint Francis, two female saints. He's got my clue in that as well. Another is that of the Libra star sign when googled. Now, in the picture of the woman holding the scales, there's the number 17. But that is also the same of the picture of the painting of the woman holding the scales and the sword of justice on the Vatican roof. But also, as there's four separate pictures of on the paintings of the roof, the one with Jesus Christ of it, Jesus Christ has got the numbers 03 on his shoulder sleeve. But we'll leave it at that and let you have a few things to understand.